Talking to some of the drivers in the Grand Stocks now about their money situation. A man who's spent his time lately looking through this side of the fence instead of the other side, Billy Morris. Billy, we're at the midpoint of the season. Money's always an issue. Here it is. You come out here when you're able to run, it seems like you're up front running and winning. But then when you have an incident, you're out for a couple of weeks.
Well, they tell me that's racing. You get a little good luck, you get a little bad luck. Bad luck, for me, it messes me up completely because I don't have too much sponsor. I get a little help from some friends. But money part and bad luck, if it ain't on your side, it makes it for a hard season.
And it's hard to believe a top contender like you has that big of a money problem. Does it show exactly what goes on as far as sponsorship is concerned, how hard it is to land a sponsor that can give you enough funds to run the season?
Well, it's definitely hard. You've got to have the total package, people that will, you know, put a package together for you of whatever it takes. You know what it's all about. You know, some of these guys got some real good sponsors. I know we're not the top division, but, you know, we put on a real good show. Most of the time we've got the most cars, and, you know, it's exciting. No doubt about it.
It's a lot of sheet metal traded. How you doing, Trip? Trip Murphy here. Just talking to some of the guys about the beating and banging that goes on in the division. How you feel? A little too rough out there sometimes?
Part of the learning experience more than anything else. You're going to have some beating and banging when you got 22, 24 cars out on the track lined up, you know, end to end. All of them running 2 seconds apart from each other. It's going to happen. Sometimes a little rougher than others, though. But
yeah, it becomes a question sometimes of whether there's going to be a consolation race or not for the event. I tell you, these guys get out here and they really fight hard in qualifying, and then when they get out there in the main event, it seems like these guys get really aggressive.
Yeah, I'm a rookie, so the consolation race more or less my domain.
Trip Murphy, one of the guys showing signs of new sheet metal here in the Grand Stocks. The Grand Stock event would kick off with Billy Morris leading the 24-car field. On the start, Morris would break loose in turn one, handing the lead to Scott Willingham. John Eversole took second as Morris fought the loose ride to hold on to third. On lap 2, the fans will witness the backstretch turn into a pile of sheet metal. This time it was Willingham getting a taste of someone else's bumper. Eversole, while trying to work under the Broyhill Ford, nudged Willingham coming off turn 2. Willingham spun into the backstretch grass but never let out of the throttle. The 22 would shoot back across the speedway as smoke poured from its spinning tires. The remainder of the field had nowhere to go as cars shot through the grass or either piled into Willingham. When the smoke cleared, several cars set heavily damaged. Willingham, Bill McGonigal, Laverne Cole would all see their night come to an end. When the cleanup was complete and the green flag returned, it would be Eversole leading the way with Morris second, trying to rub the jeans car wash off the back of Eversole's Pontiac. Finally, on lap 8, Morris would get to the inside lane and shoot past the 87 for the lead. Eversole would be left to fight off David Zimmer. Lindsey Pond, having a frustrating night, would park his ride after a black flag and climb from his ride to the words of advice from his father. Morris would have to stay sharp as the event would be slowed by 4 more cautions. Each restart would see Morris's last chance Plaza Motor Chevy pull away, and when the checker fell, it was Morris with the win by 15 car lengths over the hard-fought battle for seconds that went to Eversole. Zimmer took third, Glenn Jarman fourth, and Bobby Curtis rounded out the top 5.
Woo!
Billy makes number 4 this season.
Yeah, that was a toughie too, I tell you. I have my hats off to Johnny. We've been friends for a long time. He's the toughest driver in this class, and he raced me hard. I didn't expect to give it to me. His car was just a little off. That was the only difference. He was a little loose coming off the corner. I get just a little bit better bite, and I got to run on him a little bit. I'd like to thank Gene Berryman, Kevin Newbill, and Steve Lowe with Plaza Motors, Virginia Race Cars. I'd like to thank Wally's Precision Machine, especially Wally Duncan, Rick Duncan, and Worth Red. When we run on the wall a couple weeks ago, we tore the car all 2 pieces, and just Gene and myself, and a little bit of help from people like Dean and Jerry and stuff like that. It just took a little while and a little bit of cash to put it back together.
And now, the voice of Ford for the Richmond area, Ashland Ford Mercury. With Ford leading the nation in product innovation and quality control, your question becomes,
Which Ford dealer will deliver the total package? The selection, savings, and satisfaction that only comes from superior service.
There is one clear choice. Ashland Ford Mercury.
The voice of the people, a commitment to fair pricing and quality care.
One clear voice. One clear choice. Ashland Ford Mercury.
The voice of reason.
Here, we're talking to some of the Charger drivers here at Southside Speedway. We'll kick things off right now with Mark Eubank. Mark, earlier in the season, you seemed to have strength and just no luck. Now it seems like some of the strength has gone away. What's wrong?
I think it's a little bit of strength and luck, to be honest with you. Ain't been hitting a whole lot last few weeks. I don't know, just don't know.
Well, just over the midpoint in the season, is it just money starting to run tight with you? Is it the family crew working on the car? What is it?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, about halfway through the season, the main sponsor we had, Daniel Bell, backed out on us and went bankrupt, and money's been real tight. We've been basically running on our own money, you know, all season, and it's getting bad, you know. The other guys 4 tires, and, you know, we're running the same ones we ran like a 3rd race, so, you know, hopefully we'll get back, you just have to see.
Mark Eubank, one of the strong contenders here. Maybe he'll get some backing and pull back up in the ranks in the Chargers. We'll talk to a couple more of the drivers in the Charger division. Things have been hard luck for some of these drivers. Great House being one of them. How you doing? Last week, a little unluck there. You seem to have a strong car, but luck just doesn't seem to be going your way.
No, I ain't having too much good luck. I cut 2 tires down last week. I don't know if we found a problem yet. We're still working on it, so hopefully we might have it tonight, so find out.
Course expense being one of the big parts here to run in any division. It's midpoint in the season. Is money starting to get a little tight on the team?
Maybe not for me, for my dad, maybe.
Funded by Dad's wallet, huh? That's it. Well, you keep struggling out there, and you have a top-running car, no doubt. Maybe you'll get luck and end up in that top spot tonight.
Let's hope. I hope.
Thank you. Sonny Minner, one of the strong runners out here in the Charger Series. I tell you, you can't seem to get a break you've been looking for. You're midpoint in the season. We talked to a few of the other drivers about the money situation. How's the money running for your team?
Well, money's not running very good at all. Everything's breaking week after week. It's coming out of our pocket, basically.
Seem to be more mechanical problems than anything, or is it just over-aggressiveness on the track by some drivers, lack of attention maybe?
Well, that has a lot to do with it also.
Some of these drivers out here seem to fade back early in the race, then come on strong. You seem to be one of those who come on strong at the end of the race. Is it just you take your time, work through the field?
I usually start from the rear of the field, so I have no choice but to come forward. That thing's breaking, so we have to start the rear. I've started the rear for over half a season, so I have no luck with qualifying at all. So
we talked to a few of the other drivers. It's midpoint in the season. Of course, your first season out, Heb.
Right.
And money, is it getting tight on the team? Just can't get the luck, the breaks you've been looking for?
Well, I always need more money. I'm spending a lot more money than I thought I would, but I do have a new sponsor. I got Awful Arthur's as one sponsor, and then I got Creative Floor, so that's helping out a lot.
The Charger class wound up tonight's festivities. Laval Balduck started with the top spot, and Tommy Tatum would have the outside pole. Balduck would hold nothing back and quickly took command. The Import Auto Haas Chevy pulled away from the battle for second, which saw Tatum trapped to the outside as Michael Greathouse took second. Chris Mull pulled to the third spot, and Thomas Stinson challenged for fourth. Caution tightened the field back up on lap 4, but on the green, Balduck jumped out and ran from the four-car fight for second. On lap 9, Greathouse drifted high, and Stinson shot to the inside for the second, followed by Tatum and Mull. 2 more cautions would slow the pace, but nothing slowed Balduck. The number 16 motored away after each restart and came home the victor. Stinson claimed second, Tatum ended up third, Greathouse fourth, and Chris Mull rounded out fifth.
You got out there and just wasn't going to let me catch up with you tonight.
I didn't want to take no chance. I just all and go. I don't want to say what.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. Stay tuned next week as we'll be bringing you more issues on the tire. We'll dispel the myths and bring out the facts on the continuing saga of the tire issue here at Southside Speedway. But in Grand Stock, it's a different story.
Yeah, Grand Stocks, we're going to talk about some of the drivers who've come in the Grand Stock Series, skipped over the Charger class. A lot of the guys feel that it's cheaper to start in the Grand Stocks than in the Chargers or the late models. The fields get more competitive and bigger each week.
We'll also check up on the Charger division and find out any news stories, which for some of them will be sponsorship, which will go into the tires and the engine and everything else about those cars. I'm Ivan Ozuro for Freddie Lee Clark. So long, everybody, till next week.